So hi, my name is Adrian Hall. I'm the National Sales Manager at Nuvech Solutions, creator of the terrific safety solution AirBar. Absolutely. So the mission for Nuvech Solutions is to increase road safety, and that's not just for people that drive vehicles and people that operate vehicles, but also for other road users such as pedestrians and cyclists. Developed on the back of an incident that happened to one of our owners. He was training someone on a car transporter, and during that training session a vehicle clipped him. On the back of that, Simon and Sarah, who are our owners, had a conversation that night around what can we develop that can essentially stop these kind of incidents from happening, because it almost feels like a day-to-day thing, and AirBar was the birth of that. So AirBar began as a system that was used kind of typically on car transporters, given that was Simon's background, and we have a number of partners promote and sell AirBar kind of as a standard feature nowadays. But very, very quickly other organisations started getting in touch. So recovery and tow was one of the first industries that took a look at the concept and said, because of the nature of crews and drivers, the nature of how these vehicles are operated day to day, we feel AirBar would be an absolutely fantastic fit, creating that safer working space at the side of the vehicles. And so recovery and tow became a biggest industry that we work within. Inquiries started coming to the website left, right and centre saying, we operate diggers, could you fit this AirBar to a digger? We have curtain siders, we have box vans, could it work with a box van and curtain sider? And the beauty of AirBar is because of how it's small, it's lightweight, as long as there's somewhere to attach it to a vehicle, then absolutely it can fit to anything. And it's not just for vehicles as well. We've had inquiries about putting AirBar up in warehouse spaces. It was used during COVID times as well to limit people coming into stores. AirBar has so many uses in so many different situations. So in terms of how widely AirBar has been picked up, it's very much a worldwide product. We have a major supplier in America that sells the product throughout recovery and tow. We have partners also across Europe, and we receive inquiries all the time from different organisations, whether it's directly from end users looking to increase their safety, or whether it's somebody who's looking to add it to their portfolio. And the UK, when I joined the organisation, my chief target was to really get those on the map in the UK, both from a vehicle builder and upfitter perspective, but also from an end user perspective as well. So in terms of how AirBar works, AirBar is a flexible membrane that's highly visible, whether it's during the daytime or during the night time. It sits inside an enclosure which fits to a part of the vehicle, whether that's a van, whether that's a truck, all different shapes and sizes of vehicles, and it follows the kind of the wiring loom, the existing truck's wiring system. So typically how it's deployed is it's deployed from the safety of the cabin. So no more drivers having to exit vehicles and set up the safety systems before they start doing their work. They can deploy whilst in the safety of the cabin. AirBar will come out within 2 to 3 seconds of being deployed, and it means when drivers are exiting the vehicles, they're exiting into the safety barrier or the safer zone that the AirBar has created. Now I think one of the beauties of AirBar is that the standard way to deploy is via buttons. We can put 2 buttons within the cabin, one for the left side, one for the right side, a quick trigger of the button, and out the AirBar comes in 2 to 3 seconds. But AirBar can also be wired in such a way that can be automated to an extent. So if it's to be triggered with a hazard warning light, so a driver exiting the seat with something triggered. A great example I think I can give of this is the cycle safe part of our system. A vehicle that's doing under 15 miles per hour that triggers the left indicator. We can wire AirBar up with the ECU system, the control unit, so that once it recognises those 2 actions have taken place, the left-hand sided AirBar system will deploy. And in particular with cycle safe, we see this as such an important innovation, because cyclists, you see on trucks that little sign that says "Do not pass" on the near side, but an actual AirBar coming out, creating, if you like, a barrier to cyclists, which is encouraging them not to encroach and not to go into that space. We can see this as a big game changer in that sense. AirBar we see as a very, very solid complementary safety system to other safety type systems. And I think a great example I can use is cameras. So camera systems, whether it's looking at the cabin, to make sure the driver's doing what they're supposed to be doing, whether it's looking at both sides of the vehicles, the reverse of the vehicle, cameras absolutely have their place, to make sure that everything is as it should be and any incidents that happen are recorded. But cameras can be very much a reactionary thing in terms of if something goes wrong, are we at fault or where does the fault lie? Whereas AirBar is separate to that. AirBar is trying to prevent issues from occurring, whether that's the vehicle being hit, whether that's from people working up and down the roadside. We really see AirBar doesn't tick every single box, but then cameras don't tick every single box either. The systems and even audible systems very much complement each other. I think really well in terms of, like I say, helping to keep the assets of the business protected. We have a standard size AirBar which is 730 millimeters, but we do have other options available. We have a smaller option available which is 300 millimeters, 30 centimeters, and there is also a longer version as well which is 1 meter. We looked at all the drivers that they had and wanted to make sure that it was long enough to support all drivers within the organisation. So that's where the standard size came in, but again, coming back to different iterations of where it's used in different places, different vehicle types, warehouses, whatever shape and size is needed. Obviously we look at a business and we make a case for it, but we do have those 3 sizes available.